Good morning, all my crafty friends. Welcome. I am here a day late, but I am here. I've been struggling with my back ever since we went on our trip. It has been rough. I don't sleep good at night. I don't walk good. I don't sit good. I don't stand good. And it has really interrupted my whole pattern of stuff. So the mornings have been tough for me, so please forgive me for being a day late on this. Today I feel a little bit better, and I'm seeing the chiropractor this afternoon, so hopefully I am over the worst of this, and yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Also, our temperatures are supposed to be dropping a little from the 90s down to the 80s, and then in about 5 or 6 days down to the 70s. So 70s are my favorite. It'll be wonderful. Looking forward to that. Hi, Penny. Glad you are here. My name is Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I have been an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 28 years, and I love what I do. I am here to help you find the joy of card making and paper crafting, to give you tips and tricks to make that easier and more fun for you, and then to encourage you to send out your beautiful creations to others to make their day. The goal is to eradicate loneliness one card at a time. Please give me a hello in the comments if you're on. Hi, Francis. Glad you are here. Let me know you stopped by, and if you're watching on the replay, let me know that also. I love to see your comments. Congratulations to the winner of my last drawing from my comments. So every single comment you make is an entry toward winning the card we make today. And the winner of my last one was Lori Wycott. Thank you for watching and commenting, and your card has been mailed to you and is on the way. Also, a reminder, if you can share my video to a crafty group, a crafty friend, by email to someone, anywhere you'd like, even to your homepage, let me know if you do that, and I'll give you a bonus entry toward today's drawing. Okay, let's get down to the table and see what's going on here. Turn you around and see my greenness outside, lots of greenness outside. I think I'm in the right place here. This is me, Maureen Rolfes, the Crazy Stamping Lady. My blog is crazystampinglady.blogspot.com. My email is crazystampinglady@gmail.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady. And my YouTube is under my name, Maureen Rolfes. You can shop with me at stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net. And I am coming to you from Middle Tennessee. Stampin' Up! Has a rewards program, so for every online order you put in of $20 or more, you will automatically receive 10% back in rewards on a future purchase. Rewards are redeemable for up to 1 year, and you can accumulate them, so it is a great little deal here. I have taken much advantage of it. I love it. Hope you love it too. I do have a few cards to share with you today. My first one is one of those little trading cards, and this is from my friend Lori in Oregon, and she makes these adorable little artist trading cards, and this one was just a hi, hello, a little letter she wrote me, and this adorable little yours special card, and then she always signs them and dates them. They are so cute, and I so appreciate you thinking of me, Lori, and sending those out to me. I enjoy every one I get. And then my next card is actually from another Lori. This is Lori in Prescott, Arizona, and she is also so faithful about sending me cards, and I love it. They make my day. Every time I receive one, it says, "Hey there, friend," and then it has a little note from her inside. And this is an easel card, a very simple, you've seen me make these. This is such an easy fold, but it gives a lot of impact, and it stands up so nicely on your shelf or your desk when you want to display it. Thank you, Lori. That is adorable. Thank you for thinking of me. And then my final one today is from my friend Karen in Prescott, Arizona. And she sends me a special card every month with her payment for the In Color Club. And I just love that she's not just sending me a payment. And think about that when you're sending something off to someone, if it's a billing, if it's a payment, if it's whatever, make it cute, make it enjoyable, make that person's day. So this is from Karen. It looks just like me, except my hair is gray, and I have about 150 pounds on her. But other than that, looks just like me. And it says, wishing you a beautiful day, with brew instead of beautiful. And Karen knows my passion for coffee. It is crazy, it's ridiculous, but I love it so, so much. So she sent me this cute little girl drinking her first cup of coffee. You can tell it's her first because her eyes are only half open. It gets better as the day goes on. And then inside it has these little coffee stains as decoration where she's writing. I love it, Karen. Thank you so much for thinking of me and making me that adorable card. Okay, that's my cards for today. I think that's all of them. I hope that's all of them. I hope I haven't missed anyone. A couple reminders. The 2025-2027 in color products are 15% off this month. Now it is select products, but I would say it's 98% of them. I think there's only one or two that aren't included in this sale. And so double check that, go out there. You can actually just search on In Color and it'll show you all the things you'll see with the percentage off on them. But it's a great time to stock up on them if you do not have them and if you're not part of my In Color club, because if you are, you'll actually get most of them. But there are a couple things on sale because they have in colors in them, even though they're really not an in color product. And one of those is the DSP that we're using today. It is 15% off, so it's a great time to grab that if you love it as much as I do, and I'll show you that in just a minute. We also have new kits that have come in. One of them is also on sale because it has in colors in it, so check out the new kits. And then we have a ton of last chance products out there. Just go check. You'll be surprised at what is out there and what is on sale. So many people forget to just go check the last chance products because it is a great place to get something you might have missed that you loved and most likely will be on sale. Okay. Just a reminder that if you place a qualifying order with me in the month of August, and that is an order of $50 or more, you will receive a free online class kit. $50 order will get you 3 cards in that kit. $75 will get you 3 cards plus a bonus project, and $100 will get you 3 cards, a bonus project, and a half a pack of an embellishment. Any smaller orders will receive a handmade card from me as a thank you, and all orders placed are placed into my monthly order prize drawing. I did this morning post the winners of my last monthly prize drawing. I'm sorry that's so late in the month. The month just got away from me with traveling, but those products will go out to you, those prizes, very soon to the winners that I posted. And I did send out all of my adhesive kits as thank yous for my birthday surprise. And I did send out all of my in color kits. So I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting caught up slowly but surely. The class where we put these cards together will be held on Monday, September 15th at 11 o'clock in the morning. And they should be mailed out to you by September 1st, so that'll be plenty of time for you to have them and craft along with me. If you didn't see the last class, check out a little further down in my feed today. Monday of this week was my class from the previous month, and you can see the cards that we put together and made. And then, you might have seen my little blurb this morning. Changes are coming. I guess nothing is for sure in life except change, right? It's inevitable. And there's a few things Stampin' Up! Is changing that I know might surprise you. They actually surprised me, but when I heard their reasoning, I understood. The first one is that Stampin' Up! Is going to be eliminating all of their red rubber stamps. And while that's very sad, because I've always loved red rubber and they were with me from the beginning of this journey 28 years ago, I understand their reasoning. They are having tons of trouble sourcing the things they need for their red rubber stamps anymore. So many companies have eliminated them. We are one of the last holdouts. And so it's very hard to get those raw materials to do that. And so that was a big part of their decision, as well as the fact that our photopolymers are way outselling our red rubber stamps. People love to stamp and be able to see where they're stamping. So photopolymer has become increasingly popular, and fewer and fewer are ordering the red ones, the red rubber. So Stampin' Up! Has decided to make that change. They will be gradually phasing them out. So watch for them as they go on the last chance list, then they will be gone and they will not be replaced with red rubber. Although Stampin' Up! Says all of the ones that they were doing in red rubber previously, which was usually things that didn't have to be lined up real well, the new sets they make will be done in photopolymer. They will continue those styles, as well as background stamps that have traditionally always been red rubber will now be coming in photopolymer. So I'm hoping I can tell you most of what's going on here. The next big change is that the Stampin' Right markers are going away. And this was huge to me. I couldn't believe it. I have to admit, since we have come out with blends, I rarely use my Stampin' Right markers. It is so rare that sometimes they go dry before I can really even use them. So that is part of the reasoning. They sell so few of these compared to the blends now that they notice they've lost their popularity. The blends are taking over. And so also there are so many watercolor marker companies out there. You can go anywhere. They're not going to match exactly, but you can find colors that will probably match closely. And we just can't compete with so many that are out there on the market. And then the final reasoning they had is one of the primary reasons they carried these is because people like to do the markers direct to their stamp technique. And that really only works on the red rubber. It doesn't work well on the photopolymer. It just kind of beads up. So since we're eliminating red rubber, they're eliminating those. Those have actually been moved to our last chance list as of today. All of the colors were there right before I came on. I checked, and all of the packets were still there, but they will be gone when they're gone. They're on last chance and only available while supplies last. Those of you in my In Color Club, I was able to order the ones that we need for our final month of In Color next month, so you will still be getting those, which made me happy. And then finally, our clear cases are going away. Now I'm going to show you this. Our clear DVD cases, this case type right here, we will no longer be putting our stamp sets in. And that is because of the change to photopolymer. Photopolymer is much thinner, so it's wasting a lot of space on your shelf when you're putting them in a DVD case on your shelf. So, couple things about that. This will be a gradual migration as old sets go away and new sets are redone and come in. The newer ones will be in the envelopes, and I'm going to show you those in a minute. The older ones will still come in the cases until they're gone. So that's just going to be a transition time on those. Be aware of that. You could order 2 sets in the same order and get one in the envelope style and one in this style. So be aware of that. Stampin' Up! Is going to continue to sell these empty cases like they always have. It's out there on the store. If you want to buy those in packs of 4, and you could still use those for whatever you want to do, they will continue to sell those as long as people are buying them. If people are not buying them, then they will probably move to last chance or just be discontinued. So be aware of that. What they are transitioning to, and I don't have an exact one, but I can show you a similar one, is they're going to be coming in envelopes very similar to our dies that come right now, with a couple changes. Both the stamp sets and the dies will be transitioning to a new packaging. It's a little bit different. I think it might be slightly wider and slightly taller. It has a different kind of flap, one that just goes in rather than this one that kind of has to go back and up. And they will come in the same exact size envelopes like this. So you can actually store your dies and your stamp sets, say that this was a stamp set and this was a die, you could store them right together on your shelf. You could put a rubber band around them if you wanted to hold them together, but you can keep them right together, which I think is wonderful. That'll make it easier for me. These also take up so much less space. So when you put them in your containers or whatever, you're not going to be filling your shelves up as quickly, which I also love because I never have enough shelf room. My plan is to probably take a picture of each stamp set, which I know a lot of you already do. Put that picture on a piece of paper and print it, and then keep those in a binder, because then I can just take all of my stamp set and dies, put them alphabetical in long trays or something, and I will know exactly what I have from my binder and then be able to go find it alphabetically. So that's my goal, to do that transition. It may be slow, I may not get everything, but that is my goal. So this current packaging, like I said, will just be entered. It'll be coming into style. You'll see old packaging and new packaging for a while. The other really super great thing about this, though, is in the new packaging, there will be artwork very similar to this. It'll look a lot like this, that is on the front of your dies. They will just be obviously not images like this. It'll just be like the outlines, but you'll be able to see exactly what dies are in those packages without having to open them up. So I love that too. So many changes, and I know change isn't easy for people, but I do understand companies have to be competitive. So many companies have gone out of business, and I so appreciate Stampin' Up! Staying on top of these trends and on top of these things so that we can maintain and be a strong company for you. So feel free to ask me any questions in the comments here, or email me at any time at crazystampinglady@gmail.com, and I will be glad to talk to you more about these things. So now the next thing is cool though. Our mini catalog. Many of you are telling me you have received these in the mail from me. I am so glad to hear it. Actually, many of you had them before I got mine, so I was a little jealous. I can only show you the front cover and the back cover at this point, but you can see some hints of products that are in here if you haven't gotten yours yet. Anyone who ordered from me in the last 6 months and had set up an online account where they opted in to get information from me, and that's important. If you opt out to receiving information from me, that includes I can't send you the mini catalog through the Stampin' Up! Site. So be aware of that. But anyone who did that should be receiving those this month. At the end of the month, I will contact all of those people to make sure they've received them by email, and I can send one out individually if I need to. Also, if you need a catalog from me or want a catalog, let me know, and I'll send one out. But I do want to point out that it's much more expensive for me to do it that way. So if you want to help me out in my postage a little bit, it's better if you just opt in on your account, place an order in the next 6 months, and then when the next catalog comes out, I'll send it to you. That's the easiest way. But no matter what, I will get you a catalog if you want one. I'm in love with it. Like I said, I can't really show you the inside. I'm just going to show you the end and flip through it. But it is a ton of fun. Now realize when this goes live on September 3rd, we are also introducing a bunch more online exclusives. And oh my gosh, they are crazy too. So guys, just wait. September's coming. There's going to be some fantastic products out there. Okay, I think that's all of that. So I'm going to do our project today. Am I locked up? It looks like I might be locked up. I'm hoping where you are, I am still going. On my screen, I look a little locked up, but hopefully all is well. So for our project today, you've probably seen me post a few things recently using this gorgeous Painterly Pears Designer Series paper. This was an online release from last month, I think, July, I'm pretty sure. And it is so beautiful. I don't know why I like artistic pears. I love pears to eat too, but the artistry of pears is just amazing to me. So we're going to be using this paper. I'm going to show you all the sheets in this Designer Series paper. I'm going to start with the backs with the more neutral patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look how pretty those are. Great for fall, great masculine designs that can be used. So I always love when the backs are so versatile and so useful. And now we're going to turn this over. And here is the front of these papers. Again, I'm going to do them one at a time. This, I can't even say gorgeous because I'll be saying it for every page. I love these designs. They just make me smile. The color combination, the artistry of them, I think they are so beautiful. And I love all the different colors they've brought into this. This is the sheet we are going to work with today and do a one sheet wonder. And I'm going to be making a card with it, but I'm also going to show you how I cut it up so that you could make, I think it's 9 cards with just the base. No, maybe it's, I don't know. I'll show you in a minute. You'll see it when we do it. It'll be 6 cards with some leftover scraps that you could do stuff with. So look how pretty that is. This is really perfect for scrapbooking because it's all open in the middle and you could just add your photos and you are basically done. But I wanted to make cards out of it. I thought it was just so lovely. So we're going to do some card making with it. I'm going to take all of this and set it aside. So for our cards today, we're going to be using that piece of paper. This is the recipe that I will put out later. But this is basically what I'm doing with my 12 by 12. I am cutting in, so if I have the top of the page, and the pears do have, well, let me show you it again. So they have a right and wrong to them, like this. But it doesn't really matter which way you turn it. You're still basically doing that. But I'm doing it this way so that these 2 little pears are on my sides, if that makes sense. And the top and the bottom have this pear cutting up in the middle. So that's how I'm choosing to cut this. And we're going to cut this in 5 inches from this side and 5 inches from this side. So we're going to have 2 strips. And then you can see on my design, when I cut this, oh, I think I have it, make sure I got it the right way. I might have it upside down, I'm not sure. Nope, I don't think so. So when I cut this, what I did is I cut off a 3/4 inch strip here and a 3/4 inch strip here. And what that ended up doing is giving me the 3 by 3 1/4 pieces I needed on each side. Now the reason I changed them up a little bit, why it's on this one it's at the top and on this one it's down here, is because I just like this pear. So when I did this side, I cut out part of this pear, and when I did this side, I cut out part of this pear. If you don't care, if you like this pear as well as this pear, then just cut that line straight on them when you want. So, okay, so let me show you this. Hopefully I can do this pretty well and not too confusing because I already cut part of the sheet. So here is the way the original sheet looked. Okay, let's see if I can get that lined up. Just like that. I came in 5 inches and cut off that strip, just like that. And then I had 1 piece, that little bitty strip, and then 2 more equal pieces. And I'll show you those sizes again in a minute. Now I'm going to do the same thing from this side. So let me get my cutter, which where the heck did I put my cutter? There it is, hiding underneath my desk. And what we're going to do is I'm going to flip this around because this was the first side we did. I'm going to flip it around and we're going to cut in 5 inches from this side. So this is exactly what you would be doing twice. You'd be doing it on one side and then the other. And I'm going to cut in and straight down at 5 inches. That's going to give me a 2-inch wide sheet left. And this part I am not using for these cards, but I could easily use it for strips. I could easily use it with these designs. I could make tags out of it. So there's plenty you can do with it. Then you're also going to end up with 2 strips like this. Those are those 3/4 pieces. Those also you could use on strippy and scrap cards. I just love the design on them. It's going to be fun. Nothing's going to be wasted on this piece of paper. Okay, so there we go. We have our 5" by 12" piece. The next thing I'm going to do is come in here and I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4 inch. Just like this. So now I have a beautiful front for a card that I'm making, okay? Just gorgeous, just the way it is. We're going to decorate these up a little bit, but you're going to see what I did with it. I think this is so beautiful, and we're going to layer it. So if I wanted to layer this directly onto a card base, I could have made it a little larger, but I'm doing a card base and then one layer down, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and then this layer down, which is 3 3/4 by 5. And by doing that, I can get 6 of them out of here. So I love it. Okay, so that is that. The next thing I'm going to do is take off my 3/4 inch. Okay, so that's at 3/4. And again, I'm only doing that because I prefer the pink and green pear to the yellow and green one, just in this design. So I am just cutting off 3/4 because 3/4 of this side will not be used for one of these cards, and so I'm keeping that for another scrappy piece right here for in the future. And then this leaves me actually 2 3 3/4 sections left. So I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4 one more time. And I hope this isn't too confusing, but I think it makes sense, hopefully. Okay, so from that side of the card, we now have these 3 pieces that we can use on card fronts. We also have 3 more that I already cut from the other side, as well as all of these little pieces that you can choose to use however you want. And like I said, for sure I will use them. In fact, if I get around to using them today, I'll try to post what I do with them. Okay, so we're going to make a card today, and I already took the piece from the other side of the paper when I cut it out right here, but it is going to be this one right here that we're going to use to make our card. I'm also going to show you a card I made with this piece at the end, and then this one could be done basically the same way. So you'll see when I put these together how fun and easy they would be to just make up a bunch of cards right away and be done with them. I'm going to set these to the side for a minute here. Now I want to show you the other things that come in this suite of products that we're using. It is the Painterly Pears bundle. So that is this beautiful stamp set. It has congratulations, a good friend is a gift, hello, thank you, and friend. And then it has the pears, the outline with the inside, the small ones with the inside, the leaves, the flowers, the flower centers, and then some speckles that you can add to your card. We're not using most of this today. We are using the hello and the friend stamp, and I'll show you that for our sentiment. We also have the dies that cut out all of those images, as well as a cute sketchy background, some little flowers, a couple sentiment dies. Yeah, lots of fun stuff going on here. So that is part of this suite also, along with this beautiful ribbon. This ribbon is mossy meadow and gold, and it is 1/4 inch wide. On one side, it's mostly mossy meadow, and on the other side, it's mostly gold. So you can choose to use what you like on there. They're both beautiful. On the sample card I show you at the end, you'll see I used the gold side on here, and it turned out just lovely. So I'm going to set this aside. This is part of this suite, as well as the paper. I also have out 2 things of linen thread here. These are Early Espresso and Old Olive. And I love linen thread. You guys know me and my linen thread. I love it so much. So it's a little bit thinner than Baker's twine. Maybe tiny bit thicker than our regular linen thread, but very similar to it. And we're going to be using, hopefully, this on our card today, although I haven't put it all together yet, but I think we're going to. And then the final thing in here are these low profile sparkle dots. Let me see if it says anything else. It doesn't give me the colors, but they're made to match this suite. This one looks like possibly, let me look at what the colors are in our paper, and I can probably tell you. Here we go. So this one looks like it coordinates with Secret Sea. This one probably Mossy Meadow or Old Olive, and this one Darling Duckling. Now the dots are never going to be exactly the same color because they're made with a whole different dye process, but they are coordinating and they're all going to be beautiful on these cards. And on the card I already made, I did use the green ones, so on the one today we'll probably choose one of the other two colors. Okay guys, I'm going to get this all out of the way, although we will need our die cuts. I'm going to die cut one of those sketchy type background pieces here, so all of that is out. Okay, so in our card kit, getting back to that, I have a basic white envelope, a basic white A4 card, A2 card base, sorry, not A4, A2 card base. Did I put that wrong on my thing? Nope, I didn't. Good. This one is horizontal. Okay, so most of my cards I usually do vertical, but this one's going to be horizontal today. I have a layer of Darling Duckling. This layer is 4 inches by 5 1/4, so it is one layer size down. Now I cut my little sketchy things, I'm going to cut them today, out of my mini cut and emboss machine. And so this is a little bit too wide to go through there, but if you wanted to use your big cut and emboss machine, you could easily cut this layer that I'm going to do right out of the center of that, because that's going to be completely covered up in just a minute. But I am going to cut it out on the mini cut and emboss just because that is very handy, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab that. Hope you're having a super good day. I know Stampin' Up! Has had a lot of changes and people are like really reacting strongly to all these changes. But I hope you stick with us. I think it is still a wonderful company. And like I said, I've seen so many companies going out of business because they've made poor business decisions, and Stampin' Up! Is working really hard to stay around for you card makers and crafters. So I appreciate that. So here is the piece that cut out. Let's see if I can get that up. Look at that. All those center pieces just fell right out. How cool is that? I will get rid of all that junk stuck on there, but I'll do that afterwards. You don't need to watch me scrape that off in the trash because we're not going to use this right now anymore. And yeah, that's how that came out of there. Just great. So that is that piece. I also pre-cut the die piece for the sentiment right here out of basic white. And out of one of the other sheets of designer series paper, I cut these leaves out. Now I used the die for that. So we have the die for the flowers, the die for the pear, the die for the leaves, the die for the cluster of 2 pears like this. They all cut out images from the designer series paper, which I love when Stampin' Up! Does that. That is so wonderful that it coordinates. So we're going to use that in a minute. And then I have my layer of the designer series paper that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So this card is going to be super simple to put together, guys. We're just going to make it now, because if I'm doing a one sheet wonder, I am trying to get a lot of cards done in a short time period. So if I'm cutting up that whole sheet, I want to get all of those 6 cards done today at a minimum. So I want them to be fast and easy, but still beautiful. So we're going to center that Darling Duckling right onto that card base, just like that. And then I'm going to take this layer right here, and for this card, I'm just going to put it right down. On the other card I'm going to show you, I added ribbon around it, and so that one I would have added the ribbon first, but for this design, on this one, I am just going to put my seal on and center this right onto that Darling Duckling. Like that. Looks like I might have that at a little angle, but not too bad. Okay, so then we're going to stamp our sentiment. So my sentiment uses the hello and the friend. I have them mounted on 2 different sides of the same block just so I could do it with 1 block. If you have 2 blocks, that works fine too. I tried stamping these together next to each other, which sometimes works great. But in this one, on this stamp, unless I want to trim off some of that photopolymer, which I could, when I lined them up, they were too far apart. That photopolymer in the middle gave it a gap. So I decided to stamp them each separately. Hopefully I can do this pretty well. So I'm going to stamp the hello on here. And then I'm going to flip it over and ink up the friend part. And if all goes well, this will look great. And if it doesn't, I'll be redoing it for you guys. So there you go. Hello friend, just like that. You know I love Hello Friend cards. They're one of my favorites because they're good for just about anything. Now we're going to add this to the front of our card, but I want to add this little sketchy piece behind it before I do that. I just think that gives it some character. So I'm going to take my seal and go right down my Hello Friend and then place this on here. I'm going to do this one. On my sample, I did it pretty straight, but I'm going to do this one a little bit more at an angle on there. So once you get it laying the way you want it, just push it down. So now my seal is sticking those 2 pieces together, just like that. And then I want to add some of that linen thread behind this sentiment. Now this is the part I didn't decide exactly how I want to do it. Sometimes I just wrap the linen thread like this, lay it out on the table, and stick my sentiment right on top of it, and then the linen thread goes all around it like that. But I think for today instead, I'm going to tie a bow with some longer tails. Just going to tie a bow of the olive linen thread. Oh my gosh, linen thread. Every time I say the word, it makes me happy. Okay, so we're just going to tie a bow. I think this will be plenty to work with. I'm going to trim it. So it's a larger bow because I want to be able to move it up and down, or larger or smaller as I need it. And I think I'm just going to stick that right behind our Hello Friend. Oh, I don't even think I have to adjust it. Just like that. Now let's see where the tails go when I do that before I think that'll be great. I'm not even going to mess with that very much, guys. That worked out great. So sometimes just doing that bow is easier than trying to squiggle. You still get that same look from it when it goes on your card. But here I'll have those little tails hanging down, and I like that. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to actually take it off for a second and move it a little bit more at an angle this way. That way my tails will be coming down. Just manipulate it a little bit. My tails will be coming down a little bit more to this side, and that's what I think I want on there. Okay, so it's all playing, guys. Play with it, see what you like, what you think. Don't stick it down until you're ready. So, okay, I think that's it. So on the back of here now, these 2 pieces are stuck together, so I don't have to worry about sticking that whole little yellow thing down well. I'm just going to stick my sentiment using some dimensionals. And I'm going to use our mini dimensionals because they work perfect on the back of this size of a sentiment. And I'm going to use several of them because I want this to hold in place as I lay this down on the card. Now my bow here is actually stuck really well into the glue down there, but just to anchor it in place a little bit, I am going to put one more dimensional kind of here, holding that one thread. Just in case it would loosen from the glue on the back of here, I wouldn't want my bow to pull out later on. I don't think it would, but sometimes I just like to double anchor things as a precaution as cards are handled to make sure they don't fall apart in any way. And then we're going to add this. Should I add it straight? Should I add it at an angle? You know what? My pear's at an angle. The bow's a little bit at an angle. The yellow thing's at an angle. I think I'm just going to angle. What do you think, guys? I'm going to go out on a limb here and angle my Hello Friend. Look at that. Oh, Look at that, how easy and how beautiful. And if you don't like pears like me, I'm so sorry. Now this other little pear that I cut out, I'm just going to take some Tombow glue and add it to the back of here. These pears are so beautiful. I wanted to just cut them all out, but I forced myself to pace myself. And we're going to take this little pear guy, and I'm going to put him here on the inside of my card, just to pull the theme through all the way. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. I have plenty of area to write your note to your friend. Hello, friend. Last thing we need on here, well, first let's do our envelope. So let's add our hello, friend sentiment to our envelope. I'm going to, again, just ink up my hello, but on here I'm going to put it up a little higher. And then underneath it and over to the side a little bit, my friend. So, hello, friend. And that's the nice part when you are using two different words like that, that you can place them however you want together to make your card. And then let's add some bling. So, I'm going to pull this out here. And like I said, I used the green on the sample I'm going to show you in a minute. This one does have some of that nice blue on there, which would be gorgeous. Or the yellow, but you know what? I think I'm going to go with the blue. We have the yellow background, we have the yellow on here, we have plenty of green. I think I'm going to pull the blues out on this. And we're just going to take one of these flat. So they're actually called low profile. So whenever one of our gems says low profile, it means they're basically flat. They have very little raised at all on your card, which makes it wonderful for sending through the mail. We're just going to place one of those right up there. And I am so glad that Stampin' Up! Is doing more and more of that style of gem. Let's see, where do we want this one? This is always the hardest part, is where I'm going to place my gems, right? I think I'm going to put this one maybe right up here. I could put it on top of the pears, but there's so much going on there that I think it's kind of fussy that way. So I think I'm going to put them purely on the white like that and let them just shine on their own. So this is our card today, guys. This is the one that I'm giving away. Let me show you the one I made ahead of time, which is a little different but very similar, and using one of the pieces from this cut up One Sheet Wonder. And here's that one. This one uses the pears that were on the other side. I put a green sketchy part behind. We use the green gems on here. And then here's that beautiful gold ribbon. So on this one, I wrapped it around and just tied a little knot of it on there. The two-sided ribbon is a little fussy when you're trying to tie that knot. So just manipulate it, get it where you want it before you pull it tight. And then you can have the side up that you want showing. Or I could have had the contrasting side, and that would have been pretty cool too. So this is two of the cards from the One Sheet Wonder. I haven't done them all yet, but I am going to try to finish these today using these same images that we cut out. So these are the other 4 images, and I'm going to try to make similar cards with those two. They should be fast and easy because I'm only going to use what I have out on my desk, and I should be able to complete these. So I hope you liked that. It is a great way to use that piece of designer series paper if you don't know what to do with it. Now again, for this one, you could do a strippy card where you're just putting the strips of this design as a background, back and forth. You could cut these down to be the same size, or my other thought is to cut these and make these into a cute little gift tag, or even a tag to go on the front of the card with your sentiment. So there's lots of things you can do. I will not waste a bit of this piece of paper because I love it. Be aware of that. I love it. So again, real quick, here is the card I'm giving away. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Here is that basic diagram for the cutting. So it's not to scale, but you're cutting a 5-inch strip off one side, the 5-inch strip off the other side. Remember, when you're doing that, you have the larger pear at the top and bottom, and these two these two littler pairs on your sides, at least if you want to do it the way I did it. And then you're cutting off 3/4 of an inch somewhere that you're putting aside for those scraps. And that's just so you end up with 3 3 3/4 pieces on each of these 5-inch strips. Leaves you a 2-inch strip down the middle that you can use on another card. I hope that makes some sense to you. I will leave this out with the picture here for a minute as I close out, and then I will be posting this also in the comments of this video. So, okay guys, thanks for being here with me today. Sorry it was a day late, but I'm glad I am here. Finally, I would love to have your business. If you're looking for Stampin' Up! Products, if you have any questions, especially about any of the changes going on, if you have any questions about any of our products, I am here for you. Just contact me by email at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. Again, every comment you leave is entered toward a chance to win this card, so I hope you leave lots of comments. I do plan to be back here on Friday, same time. Hope to see you then, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you soon, everyone. Bye-bye.